Hey everybody, this is Frillioth and welcome back to the Just Vanilla server and another episode of Minecraft. Right, today I've been meaning to do something with this big wide open space behind me for a while now and never got around to figuring out what to do. But I've decided I'm going to build myself a bit of a games room. No self-respecting man cave's complete without a bit of a games room, is it? Now I've been having a look online at some games, and I like the idea of the Connect 4 game. And now now Mojang have introduced concrete powder, we can use the proper colours instead of just messing about with sand and gravel. So I thought today we'd give it a go and try and build one down here. So before I do any of that, I need to clear a bit of space behind me. Because although there seems to be a lot of space down there, I think I'm probably going to need a little bit more. Maybe whip out this wall a little bit. So I've got a bit of TNT. I've not used my TNT for a while. So I've got haste on my beacon downstairs as well. So if I lob down a bit of TNT in here. Beautiful. Going to be mob central in a second, isn't it? Don't even know what I'm going to be digging through. Oh, there'll be the tunnel down here. All kinds of spaces. I'm going to dig this out a little bit more, give us a bit more room, and then we'll start building, or we'll start designing it anyway, and see what we can come up with. Right, I've done a bit of digging out, and I've got a rough idea of where I want it. I think we're going to have it here, and I've roughly calculated the amount of space I'm going to need as well. If we have the exact centre of it, sort of here. I know I've got plenty of room that way, and I've got plenty of room above me. I don't have a great deal of space below me because that is... I've got a little bit of space below me actually. I've got a little bit of space below me. So if we... I'm pretty sure as well I'm not going to be able to get this done in one... Yeah, let me just knock this out. I'm not going to get this done in one episode, which is a shame. Well, I could, but then it would mean me just doing it all and then showing it you at the end, which I could do if you guys get bored of me building stuff. But I want to build a little bit on camera, just to prove that I've built it, really, I think. Yeah, maybe use this as the base. I can hear you. Where are you? Oh well. I'm sure you'll show your face when you're good and ready. Right, so we can't go any lower than this. So if we... Where do I want the middle again? We have the middle about here. Now, anybody who's familiar with Connect 4, well, you know what it is, but it's got a trap door on it at the bottom of the game that you open to let all the tokens out, or the counters out, and I want that to be, that's going to be the floor level. And if I have that about here, I'm going to make it out of concrete as well. Blue concrete, because it's blue, the game's blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this basically is the piece at the bottom of the game that opens, that lets the counters out. So everything is going to be built around this. So underneath that we're going to need a bit of a mechanism that allows me to open and close it. which is going to require pistons, isn't it? Pistons on me. This is where I start putting things down and not picking them up again. I've got some slime. Look at the amount of crap in my inventory again. Where were we? Alright, I need some slime for my sticky pistons. I need those. I need those. So we need some sticky pistons in there. I've got haste on as well, so this is where I start breaking through stuff and I can't get back. And I go through half a dozen pieces of stone that that I wanted to stay where they were. You know what I mean. Haste's great, haste's a nightmare. Right, so once those are extended, actually that's going to make the level go up one, but that's not a problem. So the base is going to be sort of this level. I'm talking to myself here, trying to figure out how to do this. So that's all got to be powered. So we'll want a line of stone blocks. Basically, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tell you all about it once I've done it. But basically, if I put a line of blocks across there and then power it, this will extend these pistons. And then I want a line of sticky pistons facing into these blocks. So when these are depowered, the other sticky pistons here depower, and it drops the floor down and then pulls it away. And then once the counters are gone, it pushes it back again. So I'll do that. And then show you once it's done. Okay, so we've got the withdrawal mechanism. We've got the mechanism in that gets rid of the counters once the game's finished, and it's quite a simple piston mechanism really. You've got a line of redstone down there that's powered by the torch. You've got a line of redstone there into some repeaters that lead into these sticky pistons, and because the repeaters are going directly into the top piston, it powers both pistons. And now once you power these two torches, they're going to go off, and it'll retract that piston down to start with, because there's a delay on this repeater here, and then a few ticks after that those pistons are going to retract, so the block's going to go down and it's going to move out of the way for a few ticks, and then it's going to move back and then back up again. I'm going to use a wooden button finally when we set the room up upstairs, because that gives you a slightly longer pulse. I don't have one on me because I don't think that is going to be long enough for all of the concrete to fall out. But anyway, this is the mechanism that's the mechanism working. That's brilliant. So we'll just get rid of that button, so I know that's going to need a blob of redstone dust on it. And as I say, the button to power this is going to be above it somewhere. I might move it about later. This is all very rough. So I've also put jump 2 on my beacon, which I think is a good call rather than haste, because I don't need haste and I do need to be able to jump. So now I'm going to need some hoppers, and I need to run a line of hoppers from underneath these pistons here to a line of droppers that are going to fire the counters back up again to the top, so you can start the game again. So let me grab some of those, and I'll put that line of hoppers in leading over there, and then we'll have a look. This is going to be pretty much the way this episode is going to go. I think I'll build a bit, then show you what I've done, rather than spending 20 minutes building about an eighth of it. and then having to mess about later. I'll build that now, and then we'll have a look at it in a second. We've got the hoppers in. They run directly from underneath the where the trapdoor is, so to speak. I've put a line of redstone dust on the top of them, which breaks the falling blocks and turns them into entities that allows them to enter the chests, and then they flow down into the droppers, which are going to fire them back up again. So hopefully this is going to work. Jump 2, brilliant. So we've had a game of Connect 4, and yellow have won. They've connected 4 in a row, so they've won. Woohoo for me. So you come over here to reset it, press a button. Brilliant. And they all fall down and get funneled over into here. Perfect. So that is pretty much the bottom done. I can't do a lot more until I've designed the top, which I haven't done yet. So I think if we get rid of a bit of this nether rack and make a bit of space, it's going to take loads of space, isn't it? I did toy with the idea of having glass around it as well, but I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know yet. So if we have first block of place it wrong, well done. Where does the door go? Yeah, so the button can't be there. I'm going to have to move the button anyway because it can't be there. Oh, it's dark up here. Alright, 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's as high as it's going to go. Is that the last one? It is. Here's me thinking I'd dug out more room than I could possibly need. There's never enough room, is there? Like time. Okay, so that's that. So this is going to be the hole where the counters fall through. And we'll make that mechanism next. I think we'll do that next. We should be able to get that done. Yeah, we'll get that done in this episode. So at least then the mechanics of it are going to be working then. So yeah, so if we get a torch up here. Few torches. So we're going to have pistons on either side, normal pistons on this side, normal pistons on this side. When you press a button down the bottom, it's going to activate the piston and push a block of sand, a block of concrete, your coloured concrete, over the edge, and it's going to fall down onto the game board, and that's how the game's going to work. So I'm going to have to make up get some pistons up here, and I'll get it set up. Get the pistons up here and explain what I'm doing. I just thought I'd show you what we're going to be building up there before I go up there and do it, just to give you an idea of what it is. So we're going to have the piston. That's going to be the gap. The gap is going to be there. So the gap where the tiles fall down is going to be there. So we're going to need the piston there. We're going to need a torch behind it because we want the piston to be extended at all times. The players' tokens are going to be on top of this piston there, so that needs to be extended. There's going to have to be a block there and then a torch there. and then a block on top of this, and then some dust on top of that. That's going to be the line that powers the turn indicator, that allows one player to have a turn and then not have another one until his opponent's had a turn. That's going to be linked to some kind of dropper thing above it. But that's basically how this is going to work. So if we power that block, underneath is going to be a button. And if we power that block now, the piston will retract quick enough for one of your tiles to fall down and get pushed out. Can you see that? So that will then get pushed out, that will fall down onto the board, which is there, and then that indicator will stop the player from having another go until his opponent's had another go. So again, once you see, you've got a line of 7 of these representing the entire board. So you press the button, falls down, your token gets pushed across and falls down onto the board. I hope that makes sense. It'll make more sense when I've done it, but I just wanted to show you before I started lobbing all the pistons up there exactly how it works. You could, in theory, get rid of that torch and just have that torch there, and do it that way. That takes slightly longer, but also it means that I don't have any kind of mechanism for the turn indicator. I've not been able to figure that one out. This seems to be the easiest way to do it, is to have the short pulse. So let me get up there, lob in some pistons, and hopefully have a look at this working in a second. Okay, so we've got the pistons in at the top, and we've put a bit of concrete powder up there as well, just so I can test it out. Just to show you what's up there as well. So we've got the piston there, like the same as the little demo I showed you down there. You've got the piston there with a block behind it and a torch, and then a block above it with another redstone torch there. And this is going to be the line that resets the turn indicator. At the moment, the players can press the buttons as many times as they want, which is obviously not going to be fair. And you've got the yellow and you've got the red counters, and the same on this side. So if we go down to the bottom, if it's red's turn, the buttons are going to be there. I think I'm going to change those for wood buttons as well, wooden buttons, because they're just easier to see. And maybe raise the floor up a little bit. Maybe have the floor level up a little bit. Yeah, maybe have some steps, some stairs going up here rather than it being flat, and that way you don't have to look up so far. So if we want to put a block there, we wanted to put one of our counters there, we go underneath the button and we press it, and the counter falls down, and then the person on this side who wants to go presses a button, puts their counter. Person on this side puts their counter. And again, the idea, if you're not familiar with the game, the idea is to get 4 of these in a row. So if red gets 4 in a row diagonally or horizontally or vertically, they win. Brilliant. Red's the winner, and then they can go and reset the game. Brilliant. Those counters then whiz over there into the droppers, which is going to fire them up into some kind of chest, I think, and the people are going to have to go over, the players are going to have to go over, pick up the counters, and probably using some kind of ladder. Maybe we'll have a ladder up there. They'll go up and replace the counters, because you can't play the game without counters. Then they can start again. Brilliant. See, at the moment, if you wanted to cheat, you could just keep pressing your buttons until you've won, and obviously if you forget whose turn it is, I'm probably going to have some kind of turn indicator as well, maybe a light. Maybe we'll have some fancy light system going on. But at the moment this is working perfectly. Excellent. Obviously all this netherrack is going to be changed. So what to do now? I think what we'll do for the rest of the episode is I'll try and stick in or create some kind of turn indicator thing up here. It's going to have to be up here because it's going to have to use this line of redstone, and all this is going to have to go as well. So I'll dig out a bit more space at the top, and we'll make some kind of hopper, dropper, you know, turn indicator thingy. Yeah. Well, that took a lot more messing about than I was hoping it would, but I finally got it in. You've got a couple of droppers there facing into each other, and that's got an item in it. I'm being a bit ostentatious, I think. I put a diamond in there. Is ostentatious the right word? Anyway, I've got a diamond in there with a comparator coming off of it to show to take a signal out of the one that's got the item in it, and there's one at either end, and those in turn power or don't power these torches, and these torches run to the lines of redstone there that are directly underneath the torches that power the pistons. So when the player presses the button down the bottom, it will power that piece of redstone, which will in turn, via this dust, power the dropper and fire the item from one side to the other. When it does that, that torch is going to power, and it's going to power this line here, which stops them from pressing the button again until the guy on the other side, whose line is now unpowered, presses his button, which powers the line, which powers that line, which fires the item back again. So if we throw a few bits of powder, concrete powder, we're gonna probably put something in here which makes it easier for players to fill this up as well. We'll have some kind of walkway around here where you can walk around. I'm sure there's probably a way of being able to fill this up automatically, but I've had to think about it, and that's probably going to take far more redstone and pistons and messing about than I care to do at the moment. So we'll stick with the manual system. So we've got the red ones in there. I'm sure red and yellow were on the other side last time. Oh, maybe get rid of that button. We didn't need it anyway. So we've got a bit of red, we've got a bit of yellow. I did initially put that line going straight across into the hoppers, which I thought was into the droppers, which I thought was a good system, but then you can't fill the sand up, so I've had to go around the edge. So we'll do that. Drop down. So I don't know at the moment whose turn it is, but we will, like I said, we will have some lights on the side maybe, or I don't know, we'll have some lights somewhere. So whoever's turn it is presses a button. Obviously it's the other side's turn. You see, this player now can't press any of these buttons because it's not his turn. Obviously it's this guy's turn, so he presses his button. And now he can't have another turn, she can't have another turn until the other player's had a turn. Fabulous. Brilliant. This is fantastic. So now we can have a game. I'm not going to have a full game, otherwise that'd be really boring for you. I'm getting all excited about the game now. As I said, I did think, and I don't have any glass on me, I did, in my test world, I have put some glass across the front of it. And in this texture pack, the glass is clear, but it does have a square around it, so you can see when you've got like 3 or 4 in a line. If you've got 4 in a row, oh, in fairness, it's not difficult, is it? Yeah, it's not difficult. I was worried that if you got sort of 3 in a row you couldn't tell, but you can. It's easy to tell. And then when we've got a winner, we'll go back. I'm going to have some kind of, I think I'll have a scoreboard as well up here, made out of lights, redstone lamps. But when you've got a winner, press the button, get rid of it, and start again. That is fabulous. That is fantastic. Do I start any more in this episode? I think. Yeah, let's do the. Oh no, let's not. I'm running out of time. I'm conscious that I've used up quite a lot of time just messing about. I think we'll call it a day. I think we'll call it a day for today. So we'll draw this episode to a close. We've got pretty much a working Connect 4 game now. It's impossible to fill, impossible to keep score, and it looks really messy. But we've got the basics for a Connect 4 game. So I'll work a little bit on this off camera, and then we'll do some more. I'm probably going to knock out another episode for tomorrow for you guys to finish this off. And then we'll have like a double episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like. And if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. This is Fully Off in my Connect 4 game, and I'm out of here.